So what is a guild? A guild is basically just companion planting, but just more than 2 plants, basically. It's a fancy way of saying companion planting. So let me just spin you around so you can see what my intentions were in this space. So hopefully you can make it out. It's not looking at its best right now, but this is a Elaeagnus. It's Elaeagnus. I forget the names. They're always tricky. I write them down at the bottom of the screen, but there's 2 different types. I think they're grafted together. So we've got the commercial one, which people tend to want to buy from the shops, and this one here, which is kind of like the kind of wild one. It's kind of, I think it's kind of grafted, and you can see it's developing some lovely flowers on right now. Honestly, the flowers smell so sweet. And if bees were around right now, they'll be all in on this on the mainland. I think bees are kind of tending to kind of hibernate right now, because down here is looking a bit, where's Gary? He keeps pecking me. You need to go away, mate. But basically, the reason why I've got Elaeagnus in the middle is because it's a nitrogen fixer. So why not have the main plant in the middle be a nitrogen fixer to then feed all the rest of the plants around the space? So we've got Elaeagnus in the middle, and on the right here we have a ribes, which has fed me. This is a blackcurrant. I fed a lot on this year. Loads of blackcurrants, one of the most happiest ones. I think it's because it's in close proximity to the Elaeagnus, which is a nitrogen fixer, plus it gets the runoff from the swale, and what happens is it trickles down. And then we get a close, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Sorry, Gary, sorry, another beetle bucket. So what will happen is the swale will run off, and you can see where the leaves end up just around here, and the flow will take it down and wash down this way and feed all these plants and keep them nice and happy. Bit of a deficiency here I can see, but again, it's autumn time now, it's getting battered, a little bit of stress, so I'm not too worried, because in time, I mean, I've got all these ducks and all these guineas in here pooing all over the place. It's going to work its magic, and the worms will come in and just do their thing. I'm not sure if you saw that. That's a rat. That's what I don't like. So anyways, that's the and we've got a skewed apple tree here. I think the wind's battered it down. I think it's a dwarf, right? It came free with like some stock, but I put it in here. It's doing its thing. Hasn't given me an apple yet. Might do this year. More comfrey down this space. And if you move over this side, around here, just mind your face from the willow. But we've got some Grisselinia, which does really well up here. And I took it out recently, but I had a big old fig just here. Is there another fig there? Oh yeah, it's looking a bit sad. I don't think that's going to come back. But I moved the fig and put it into the Croft house up here with the chickens. We'll talk about the chickens another day. But yeah, there was a massive fig here. Got a lovely looking willow, more ollie area down here. So I like to experiment. Like I said, like online you'll find different ways of doing different things. For example, like many ways to do a guild and all that, but see what works for you and just have fun with it and see what works. Like for example, I've never seen Elaeagnus in the middle of a guild before, comfrey, with a bit of ribes on the side, either side, with an apple tree sticking at the back, with then willow and then a fig tree. Like the fig did all right, but it was just getting battered here a little bit, and I wanted to have a bit more space so it can get the warmth off a wall. So I've placed it on the wall so it can grow up and in time grow through the chimney, but we'll talk about that another time. So anyways, let me spin you around and I can talk about this Hugo swirl, which I created just down here, because the sun's just bouncing off. It looks fantastic, and so do I. This was a bigger swale. It's a smaller Hugo mound, but a longer swale, if you know what I mean. So when it rains, it's kind of, this week we've got lots of storms coming. I'm sure it's going to pour down, but what will happen is it will wash down, and this does pull up, and this, believe it or not, has loads of logs in and loads of soil and stuff, and it kind of ends up filling down and goes all the way down here and flows and follows down. We'll follow it down, we'll go down with it, then we can talk about this creature hotel. So look, Alchemilla, water for ducks back. Gotta love this plant. Bit of a thug here, but I like it. Lady's mantle it's called. Took me a while to get used to it. It's all right, lovely. And we'll talk about this. This is one of my little board projects over the winter time. But look at this gunnery. This is where the water tends to reside and end up right here. And this gunnery was massive this year. And this is like a bit of a thug. This has been given that kind of invasive status. So what will happen, the water will come down here and flow up and fill up and feed this gunnery, because this year this gunnery went crazy. This is its second year in the ground. You can see it needs to be kind of broken up and spread its love and its kind of its goodness. Because even if you don't like it, look at the biomass of this plant. Like, look how big it is. Like, all you can do is like cut it back and just spread the love. Like, just cut it back where it is, and I'm sure it will feed so many different things. It's so impressive. It's like ridiculous. And not get as big as the ones in Cornwall, but a big plant nonetheless. So let's move down to one of my favorite patches of the Croft. So imagine the water will pull up just down here. It will end up down here. There are some massive bits of comfrey here, but you can see the ducks and the guineas like to munch this. It's nice to see that they're foraging. They taught me a lot about what they can eat around as well, and comfrey is one of their favorites. But when I first put the chickens in there, I saw that this space always used to get wet. So I dug a little pond here and left it as it is. And this was like a tiny little sprig. There's a pot in there, believe it or not, of sprig of rush in this big pot. And now look at it, it's obviously taking its size. How many duckling poos, chicken poos, you name it in here. And it's just looking amazing. And it's not looking its best right now. When I say looking its best, as in I couldn't see the road in the summertime. And that's the vision I wanted to create, because most of the willow here is goat willow. There's goat willow, there's crack willow, we've got some fuchsia, escallonia, and quite a few olearias. It's quite damp around here, so this one's doing all right because it's kind of high up. And you can see a lot of buttercup. And I say this now because I've noticed it before. So you see there's lots of creeping buttercup here with stinging nettles, all in the same soil, all in the same space. Buttercup like infertile soil, stinging nettles like poor, good soil. So I was like, what is going on here? So I had to kind of think. But it's about, imagine this is 30 centimeters, right? So in 30 centimeters space, that's all good soil in the ground. And then below that, it gets a bit poor. It gets a lot poorer down here. So this is when the worms want to reside. So they stay near the top. They get all the goodness. Imagine the top of the camera. They bring it all down. They bring all the stuff down, and they pee and poo, and they leave that goodness right there at the top of the soil. So with me now digging this soil and excavating and flipping the good with the bad, or the good with not so good, that's why I've got this combination of buttercup and stinging nettle. Because I was getting a bit of a complex as to why is this space looking like so mismatched? Like I've had chickens in here, like, and there's ducks pooing and all the time, and I'm a bit like, why is it? But then it makes sense when you do your research, is that all the soil is kind of intermingled. And I don't mind creep. It's better, like I said, Mother Nature didn't like to be naked. She will fill in the gaps, and I'm happy. Oh, what's that? There's a berry down there. Oh, no, it's a fuchsia flower. Sorry, my bad. There's a fuchsia just sitting pretty down there. I love that space. Honestly, it's crazy. Also, I've got a plant that you don't really see that often. Let me see if I can squeeze down. I haven't been down there for a long time. But it's called a viburnum tinus. It's got a weird, funky smell in the summertime. And let me get down here. Please excuse. And look, the catkins. The catkins on this alder. They got good, what's the word, tannins in. And they're very good for fish tanks. And believe, this is another thing we'll talk about. I'll show you a little video just now. But I've got about 6 fish tanks at home with ram's horn snails, fish, you name it. We've got some axolotls right now. Like, it's a bit of a jungle, and they're going to be used on the Croft as well. So we'll talk about that another day. But lots of goat willow. Need to cut this guy back because this is so many cuttings from here. Honestly, this one does so well. Such a good, thick, fast-growing, broadleaf kind of willow. I enjoy this one. And here's a viburnum tinus, and it's sitting pretty there. I thought it'd be munched and stuff, but look how happy that looks. It's grown maybe, been in there for maybe 2 years now. Hasn't grown that much, but happy chappy. Not flowering. This is its time to flower and look pretty, but I think give it some time, it will find its feet. But again, I'm happy it's there. It's doing good. I'm not expecting like wonders from it, but a happy chappy. And then look over here, the ducks are doing their thing. This escallonia is just shooting right up. I'm going to cut it back. I'll make some cuttings this year, and I hope it will thicken up. Oh yeah, I got a little lilac. I managed to smuggle a lilac back. Never seen a lilac in Uist, but as you can see, it's got lovely meadow pea around it. When the chickens were in here, they used to nibble this with an inch of its life, and all it used to do is end up residing in this bit of the pallet garden here. You can see it coming through here. It's called meadow pea, nurturing little fixes, little yellow flowers that look like peas. And now the chickens out here, it's slowly encroaching. I think the furthest I've ever seen it is where Ernestine is, just up here. So it's nice to see that it's spreading its love, and hopefully feeding this, because this hasn't done that much this year. Like, it's been in there for 2 years now, and it's not done much. I think it's still finding its feet. It's taking its time, but hopefully we do get something like that, because I do like syringa, which is its Latin name, but it's a lilac, not a white lilac, not a purple one, a lilac, which is one I like. And what else is there? This Big Bertha, this Garamacata. Also, firstly, you might think, why has he got so many ribes in one spot? Like, I put these guys in, I had loads of cuttings. What to do with them? Stick them in the ground. So stuck loads of them in the ground. So what I can do in time is cut these all in half. So in time next year, they'll bush out. Then they'll give me five cuttings. Cut them right back. Then they'll give me 10 cuttings the next year. So it's basically, this is, like I said, this is my busy nursery or haphazardous nursery where I can learn and see what grows in different locations, different spaces, because like I said, it's so harsh out here. But this itself has its lovely little microclimate. But let's talk about this Manicata whilst we're here. Sorry, ducklings, I'm not trying to scare you. So I have a son, He's called Cedar Bean or Cedar, named after the tree. His tree is sitting pretty up there. It's been moved around so many times, but I think that's going to be forever home for now. And we like to make potions. So we made a load of potions, and in this potion here, we've got biochar. And if you're not sure what biochar is, it's basically just charcoal, but it's been inoculated, and it's one of the most porous things out there. It's pure carbon. An ounce of biochar has a surface area of a football pitch, so we put a bunch in there. Duck poo water, dandelion leaves, comfrey leaves, and sting nettles, and he stirs the soup. And we've been feeding it to different plants, and we fed it to that gunnerer this year, and by golly, it has definitely reaped the benefits, and it gets really wet down here. And this is another swell, by the way, another Hugo swell just here. All the way, this one's quite deep. It tends to spill over here, and it kind of ends up down here. It's really, honestly, and this is, I tried to create like a vernal pool, which is kind of like a pool that only fills up come winter time, and it works just in this patch here. The reason why, you might be thinking, again, I'm saying, again, you might be wondering why I'm saving the water and kind of trying to harbour it. It's just because it just saves me on the watering. And like I said, in the future, it's not always going to be like this. And I kind of take inspiration from the beaver. Like, beavers are very good at making dams, ducks are very good at breaking them. I've realised that now. They've taught me that. But again, saving the water keeps these guys happy, and it keeps me, it's just less watering, because I don't have a hose pipe here. So it's nice to know that I can just put plants in, and they should be able to survive the summer times or the harsh times that we have. Because we get a lot of light here. We get a lot of light, and it does get particularly warm, especially with the wind. It tends to dry plants out. So knowing I can keep that moisture in makes me feel happy. It's almost like I've got water in the bank, if you know what I mean. It's like, yes, I'm doing good. I'm saving and preserving. I'm doing, like I said, water is the foundation of life. So let's get a closer look of the vernal pool. Just basically like another ditch, dug out, flipped on the side, and made like a little kind of mound on the side. So you see the buttercup growing on the side, mixed with the stinging nettles. Tried with some fuchsia cuttings. They failed. It's fine. It's a nice perch for the birds and the bees. The birds for them to kind of jam on. If you're wondering what these bags are on these alders here, I've never been successful in taking alder cutting. So basically I have air layering, which is basically you get like a bunch of moss, you wrap it around, and you put some plastic bag around it, and the moisture will can encourage the plant to put out roots in that spot. So now I can cut that, and then I'll have my nice tree, and then I can plant that and spread the love and all the love and get the nitrogen dotted about the place, because they do so well here. So that's the plan for that, and I've got quite a few dotted about the place. Now look, we've got some mint which flowered this year. Look, ooh, very happy. You can smell that. Can you smell it through my fingers? It smells delightful. This is Moroccan mint. I like plants that divide and conquer. I really like plants that want to spread and take over. It's done this. Also, this patch here, I had a bunch of willow left over, right? And I was like, what do I do with it? And my son was like, let's make a mega willow. I was like, all right then. So we had crack willow, we've got curly willow, we've got weeping willow down there. There's red willow, goat willow. I think those are all the willows that are in here. How many times can I say willow in one sentence? But lots of them in here, and we put them all in here. I thinned it out a lot, but in time this is going to create like, hopefully it inosculates, which is, inosculation is basically when you see the same type of plant. See, for example, you go through the woods and you see two trees doing all that kind of stuff. That's called inosculation. We would call it Siamese if it was to be humans, but it's when they inosculate and they kind of form together and become just one strong kind of strong tree using the same xylem and phloem tubes. I had to bust my brain thinking about all that stuff, biology, and yeah, that's basically what happens. So fingers crossed that happens. Plus I can take some cuttings. This is by far one of the fastest growing willows up here, which is the red willow. In my eyes, and it's really pretty. It's got a really lovely stem. It's like almost like cornice, isn't it? Such a sexy stem. Not many plants, they will say in garden as well, call things sexy, but this is by far, by golly, very sexy. So I was thinking what else I could talk to you guys about. There's so many things, my brain's just like, but this, over here you can see a Chinese willow. I think I said curly willow, which is Salix matsudana, which is this one here. Doesn't do too well actually. It needs a bit more protection. This one has been in here for what, since 2021. It's got a big old wobble on it, which is not good. Obviously that means its roots are going to be struggling to find their feet and get all the sufficient amount of nutrients in the ground. The more the plant's anchored, the more it's strong, obviously the more goodness it's going to get and be able to take this strong wind. So imagine the wind just coming straight over and battering, but in time you can see that, because I'm not going to digress too much in this, but that pallet fence is going to be exactly like this, doubled up, and it's going to zigzag. And you can see just up there, there's a kestrel box. No kestrels this year, sadly. Few ring doves interested, but we've got too many hooded crows and seagulls, so it's going to zigzag and hit that dog leg in the pallet fence. Also, I forgot to mention we've got 4 Hebridean sheep. Again, we'll talk about that another day. So hopefully that wind, I'll have some trees in between here and slow the wind down enough for this to be able to prosper in this spot. But this patch is another favourite patch of mine. Again, the southwesterly. This tree, you can see slight bend in its alders. One of the first alders I planted. I got a little video of cedar playing around it. It was only about 3 foot when I put it in. Just goes to show how strong it's going. That's why I've done so many of the air layering on there. Need to get a few more plastic bags for this one, but it's looking a bit sad. But again, a lovely, strong, sturdy looking tree in amongst, because literally from about here onwards, this way, coming this way, it tends to get really boggy. Another plant that does well here is a New Zealand flax. And if you look behind through all this willow here, look at this. This is really tall. This is like 7 foot. About 7 foot of growth in the year. This is amazing. Like I said, I cut this right back and it's just come back. This is the tallest, I think, it's grown. The tallest willow in here, which is about 7 foot. So behind here is a New Zealand flax. And like I said, Australasian plants seem to do really well. It's like a big old grass, kind of grows like a triffid. There's another one over there, actually. We can talk about that. And also, I forgot about my willow arch, which we can talk about. Oh, down here is it Dutch elm tree? Like elm trees, I think. Is it elm? Elm? Yeah, I think it is an elm, because it's got that kind of distinctive, kind of like zigzaggy kind of type leaf. And I got given 3, and I know they're just dying off because of that elm's disease that's going on, but I've got 3 in here, and I had to put some rocks around. I thought I'd put the willow here just to kind of stop me from kicking it, but it's doing all right. They're doing all right. So if we move around here, look at these guys, enjoy. Living their best life. Sorry guys, I'm trying to squeeze past. Ernestine's a good mum though. Like, some of the duck mums tend to go crazy and bite the crap out of you. And this is what I mean about the dilapidated fence. And all this ryebees just here. So many ryebees. And again, like I said, this is not their forever home. I can cut these all the way back and then use them elsewhere. Like, spread the love. Spread this food forest garden kind of love outside of this place. Because like I said, it will just keep giving, keep putting out, keep giving, keep putting out. So that's what I'm happy with. This is what it's like my functioning nursery. Anyways, my son's just coming back. I'm going to say hello to him really quickly before I get to, because I don't get to see him every day. I'll give him a quick hug now and I get back to vlogging and give it a little wrap up, actually, because I could talk about this forever and ever. I'm sure anyone else going through like separation is can understand the stresses of not seeing your child like every day. It's very tough, but I'm very fortunate for him to be able to live on the space where I'm working. It's basically like he lives in my garden, if you know what I mean. But I have him like, it's pretty much 50-50 right now. Well, 49-51, but soon to be 50-50, because yeah, I wanted to have him all the time, like have a shared access. I mean, I miss him to bits. Anyways, let me go and talk about the rest of this space, the willow arch, and then let's call it a day, and I can move on to the next thing. Then we could talk about the stuff outside of the Croft garden, all the squares and all the inhabitants that moved in and all the trees I put in there. So we're in, and let's talk about the willow arch. Oh, Gary, you see what he did? He like barged all the birds down, like, beat him up, go and get him, go on, Ernestine. A bit of a bully. They're chasing him. He's funny. I think he knows he's a guinea fowl, but it's kind of funny. It's just, there's always one in a bunch, in it, one in a million. Like you guys. This is the willow arch, and I created it, and sadly I didn't have enough live willow to finish it off. So it's kind of live up until here, and then it gets up to about here as well. So I used a lot of dead to kind of intermingle and kind of wrap round this place basically. But it was good, and it's only put out this much growth this year, which I'm kind of sad about, but I'm going to give it a feed this year. Also, that's a random raspberry. Put some golden raspberry in just so in time it can grow up here. That would look amazing, isn't it? Get some raspberries growing up, like these like lovely yellow ones. I don't really like raspberries that much, but I think I did it for the missus. Love you. So, gonna grow up, gonna go all the way around, but again, I'm gonna feed this, give it the potion, see this potion, his biochar mix, and get some pooey duck water. I'm gonna mulch it too, so it's got no competition with the grass, and hopefully in time, it will grow much more than 6 inches. Imagine, look, 7 foot, imagine that a wool willow grew 6 inches, that'd be terrible, wouldn't it? So, get a lovely bit of willow, grow it all the way up. So yeah, and then get it growing, so then I can start intertwining and getting around the place and making it look pretty, because yeah, it's a nice look. I have to duck it. Do I have to duck a little bit? A tiny bit. Let me spin you guys around. Hey, with this hat I have to duck a little bit, but that's fine. I am exactly 5'11", basically. I'm like 6'4" with my hair when it's all out. I got quite a long, I got a bit of high top, bringing back the 80s. And I forgot to talk about this, but lastly, let's talk about this, and then we can give it a wrap, and we can talk about. And you know, I kind of neglected this space. How could I? Like I said, it's just very much kind of all here, there, and everywhere kind of vlog. But you can see the paths I'll get a drone out one time. You can see the paths where I'm making where the ducks tend to reside as well. There's some down that way, there's some down this way. It's just a lovely patch, but this is the main lovage here. This is kind of wild celery it's called. And look at the old flower stems, as tall as me, pretty much, like 5 foot, like let's say 5'9". And it honestly lovely flowers. It's obviously likes this spot. It can get a lot taller with more shelter. Pardon me. Creature hotel here. For basically the reason why I put creature hotels in, there's lots of them implemented. You get a little sneak peek of the one outside. That one's about a good 12 foot. We've got another massive one down there which the rabbits love to use, and there's another bogland one which is further down there, and there's a dead hedge. But like I said, there's lots to talk about. And this dog leg pallet fence down here as well. Lots of willow and loads of trees in here. Lots going on. Like I said, lots and lots to talk about, people. So we've got some cornus alba here, dogwood, which is spread, and it's kind of encroaching down here. Does really well down this place. Got a lovely story to tell about this. Worked for these old ladies called Edna and Barbara. They gave me it. I thought it had died in the pot. You can see the top bit has died. It's a kind of a cordon line. And red cabbage patch tree. Cabbage patch. I'm going to give Cabbage Patch Kids. And it will grow out the side here, and hopefully in time it will grow really tall. Give these like firework of bursts of flowers. Starlings go crazy for them. There's lots of starlings around here. I don't mind them as a bird because they do something. It's nice to hear their chitter chatter in the mornings because they like very good mimics. Lots of olearia around here. Got the biggest escallonia right here at the back, which is kind of bushing up. You might have noticed if you're new here, or the old people, the people who have stayed for the long haul, is that I had chicken wire to stop the chickens coming through. But what would happen is that when the wind blew, it tended to burn the plants, and I didn't really like that. So now I've taken like these guys can come and go as they please. Alder's doing a weird thing. I don't know why it's growing like that. I might even cut it off, or might put a layering. I might layer that bit there because it's kind of kicking off to the side there. Layer that so that it can bush out, become a proper tree. We've got Olearia traversii, Diatonii, all the fun plants down there. Horse chestnut looking pretty down here. Comfrey at the back down this space just here, and an old deer antler. But just a nice space, like a nice hub. This used to be my favourite patch till down here. I have favourite patches I kind of chop and change. I think it's like different for all times at different times of year. But like I said, it's just a fun patch. It's just a fun space. So if you got this far, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I apologise to all the people who've been subscribing for months and years. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I'm back for good now. I've got good internet in my house. I've got my camera still works, my legs still work, everything else works, and I'm just happy. I'm happy to be back filming you guys. And this is the forming I was talking about before. Look how thick it is, nice. It's out. I might move that one because it's quite shaded down there, so it's got to compete with the willow. Nice boggy spot, but look, this one has done a lot better. It's been in here a year longer, but you can see there's many fronds to it. And this was just like a nice little spriget before, so it's very happy. And one of the only places I know that buddleia will grow or struggle to grow, in Europe. And I've got lots of cuttings on the go right now, so I'm hoping they bounce back and just spread the buddleia love. It's good for the birds, the bees, and the butterfly. So thank you, honestly, with the bottom of my heart for watching. And like I said, consider subscribing. There's so much to talk about. It's 9.5 acres of windy, peaty, moraine soil where we've got chickens, we've got ducks helping, we've got swells, hugel mounds, sediment traps, ponds, you name it. Lots and beds to be made, catios, greenhouses, you name it, and a new house as well. So if you want to see all of that, stick around. And if I can grow it here, you can grow it anywhere. Peace and hugs, peeps, and I hope to see you in the next one.